Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Big Pond St. Catherine flooded, ODPEM. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, is advising the public that Big Pond, located 4 kilometers north of Old Harbour St. Catherine, is flooded. Motorists are asked to use alternative route through Kitson Town to Back Pasture, through to Barton, through Bullet Tree, a tweet from ODPEM said. Mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott, said there have been several reported incidents of widespread flooding in Spanish Town and its environs as the island experiences adverse weather conditions caused by Hurricane Ian. Scott said that there have been reports of flooding in St. John's Road, Old Harbour Road, Job Lane, Brunswick Avenue in the vicinity of Stoplight, Bogtown, Ensom Avenue, sections of Sligoville, Montmorland, Waterloo, Keystone, Highfield Avenue, and Kent Village. We will have further problems if the rain continues into Tuesday, Mayor Scott reported. Scott disclosed that there have been no major drain cleaning exercises conducted before the start of the hurricane season, except for an exercise initiated to clean parish council drains in June. Most of the flooding is now taking place in areas that fall under the authority of the NWA, Mayor Scott said. The rising water levels are due to the effects of the hurricane, which the Meteorological Service of Jamaica Met Service had indicated is expected to move north-northwest across northwestern Caribbean today. Rubis Cashier found dead at home in St. Anne. Police have launched a murder investigation into the death of a Rubis gas station cashier who was found dead at her home at Freehill in Bamboo, St. Anne on Monday morning. Police have identified the deceased as Anisha Rose, 24. It is believed she was murdered between 4 p.m. on Sunday and 1:30 p.m. Monday. Information reaching reporters are that about 4 p.m. on Sunday, residents reported they heard the now deceased and someone quarreling inside her home. However, checks were not made until about 1:30 p.m. on Monday. Police say when they arrived at Rose's residence, her lifeless body was found, clad in a yellow blouse, blue shorts, and was barefooted. Her hands were bound and her throat slashed. The body was seen on its right side in bushes in her yard, the police reported. More than 2 weeks ago, an attendant at a gas station in Portmore, St. Catherine, was shot by a gunman as she served a customer at the pump. CVM TV Sold to Verticast. Jamaica free-to-air television station CVM has been sold to Verticast led by media mogul Oliver McIntosh, reliable sources have told reporters. CVM Television Limited, which was acquired by Michael Leachant, Ports and Holdings Limited, operates CVM TV and its affiliate cable television platform, CVM Plus. McIntosh, who is in charge as Portmark for over 2 decades, recently created the integrated media platform Verticast and has acquired the rights to several high-profile properties such as English Premier League. CVM TV has incorporated in 1990 and began operation in 1993. The network broadcasts 24 hours of news, sports and entertainment, and is Jamaica's second largest television station. It was first acquired by Leachin in 2006, but has struggled with mounting debt and continues to lag behind its competitor for market share. The sale was approved at a board meeting on Monday. A press release is expected to be published shortly. St. James Manchard after shooting at his sister's lover. A 30-year-old St. James Mason has been charged with shooting with intent and illegal possession of firearm following an incident in his community on Saturday, September 24. Charges Errol Donner of Albion St. James. Reports are that about 10:15 p.m., Donner intervened in a dispute between his sister and her partner, during which he reportedly opened gunfire at the man who ran to escape injury. A report was made to the police, and an operation was conducted at Donner's home. During a search, a 9mm pistol was recovered. He was charged after a question and answer session. His court date is being finalized. Curfew in St. Andrews South extended until Tuesday. A 48-hour curfew which was imposed on Friday in sections of Crescent Road in the St. Andrews South Police Division has been extended until Tuesday, September 27. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows. North along Walton Park Road from Brotherton Avenue to Crescent Road. East along Crescent Road from Walton Park Road to Spanish Town Road. South along Spanish Town Road from Crescent Road to Brotherton Avenue. West along Brotherton Avenue from Spanish Town Road to Walton Park Road. Individuals within the boundaries of the curfew are reminded that during the hours of the curfew, They are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. St. James man arrested and charged with assault. Lawmen assigned to the St. James Division have arrested and charged 29-year-old Keena Russell, laborer of Anchovy District, St. James, with illegal possession of firearm and assault at common law. It follows an incident in his community on Sunday. Reports are about 4 in the afternoon, a man and Russell had an altercation when a firearm was brandished and threatened utterances made. The man made a report to the police. Hours later, Russell visited the Anchovy police station and was pointed out to the police. Russell was subsequently arrested and charged. His court date is being finalized. Westmoreland burn victim undergoes more life-saving operations. 13-year-old Adriana Ling, who suffered life-threatening burns when her Westmoreland home caught fire, continues to undergo life-saving operations at a hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Stephen Joseph, the project manager of St. Marina Foundation, which has played a major role in getting help for Adriana, told reporters so far she has undergone 8 operations. He said that about 90% of the burnt areas on her body have been covered, and within a 2-month period, reconstructive surgery should begin. She is a fighter and has been fighting through this ordeal, Joseph told reporters. Joseph said that the doctors treating her are not yet ready to provide updates. Adriana is being cared for by lead Dr. Hazan at the Joseph M. Stillburn Center in Atlanta. She was flown to the United States for treatment after members of the diaspora and people and companies in Jamaica rallied to secure the necessary funding for her transportation. Joseph has been given temporary guardianship of Adriana and is authorized to make decisions on behalf of her father during her hospital stay. He said that reggae music is being played in the hospital room as a means of providing comfort to her. Also played to her at her bedside are voice notes sent by schoolmates and other well-wishers. Joseph has thanked all those who have rallied to provide assistance to Adriana. At the same time, Jamaica Consul General in Miami, Oliver Muir, under whose jurisdiction Georgia falls, has also been monitoring her progress and has been providing updates to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Muir tells reporters that he in daily contact with both Joseph and the hospital. Adriana was severely burnt in a Westmoreland house fire earlier this month that killed her 3 brothers, 9-year-old Adriana Ling and 7-year-old twin Jordan and Jordan Ling. Don't listen to Chang, Crawford wants cop they could face Indicom alone. Opposition Senator Damon Crawford says members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF should ignore comments by Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang, which seems to encourage them to ensure that criminals who fire their weapon at the police do not survive. Chang, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, has received both support and criticism from the controversial statements he made recently in Westmoreland. He said they, the police, not out there shoot down people like that. They are fatal shootings because men shoot gun after them. I'm not telling police not to fire back, and I say it right here in Westmoreland. I'm not sending no ambulance out there either. Chang added that anytime a man takes up a gun after a police officer, I expect Commissioner Anthony Anderson to train them so that when him fire, he must not miss. Continuing, he said, I don't want him to come give any trouble to the hospital. I am not in that business. You go to hospital. It costs us $10 million to save him life. I am not in that. When criminals see police come, he must surrender. Crawford weighed in on ongoing discussion on Friday as the Senate debate and passed the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022. I agree with Chang that if in your defense for your life, whether as a citizen or a police, you do have the right to take another life, and I would say to the police, should take the life if there's no other alternative, said Crawford. What I would warn the police about, however, is not to take on this instruction that it costs too much to treat the injured, or not to call an ambulance or send ambulance, because when Indicom Independent Commission of Investigation come, this government is not going to hire your lawyer, he added. So I'm saying to these policemen, be careful how you encourage to act in certain ways that you alone will have to answer to when time has passed. Meanwhile, Crawford said he is in agreement with the fellow senator that some criminals should be designated enemies of the state. The facilitators of criminal activities, the encouragers and organizers, our young people, in selling murder and carrying out murderous activities, it is my dream that we will differentiate them and call them enemies of the state, he said. Crawford said his fear was that some persons who are not enemies of the state would be treated as such because of mandatory minimum sentences in the new act. He suggested that before a person is labeled as an enemy of the state, the police should go before a panel of 5 judges and convince them that John Brown is an enemy of the state and then treat John Brown accordingly. The opposition senator then went on to tell the story of a goat farmer who he said was shot and left for dead but recovered. After going back into goat farming, he decided to arm himself with an unlicensed gun as a means of protection. Crawford said the farmer was held by the police and charged with illegal possession of a firearm. He said the police knew his circumstance, that he was robbed, shot and left for dead and was seeking to protect himself and his property. He argued that not all Jamaicans would qualify for a licensed firearm, especially by income. While accepting that he had committed a crime, Crawford argued that under the new Firearms Act, the goat farmer, who he said was an enemy of the state, would be sentenced to a mandatory minimum of 15 years for illegal possession of firearm. Despite its circumstances, the parliamentary opposition supported the legislation, which will take effect after it goes back to the House of Representatives, where it was first passed on September 7 for amendments to be approved. The Governor-General will then give his assent, after which it will be gazetted before taking effect. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell